BTV ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਯਾਨੀ ਅਸ਼ੋਕ ਚਿੱਤ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੇਰ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਸੀ ਸਿਫਾਰਿਸ਼ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤੇ ਗਏ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਜੋ ਈਵੈਂਟ ਮੀਟ ਐਂਡ ਗ੍ਰੀਟ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ। ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ NDP ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨਾਲ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਕਰਾਇਆ ਸੀ। ਅੱਜ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਨੇ। ਗੇਟਵੇ ਤੋਂ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਊਥ ਈਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਚੋਣ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਦੋਨੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੁਣ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ। ਅੱਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਂਸਰਿੰਗ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਵਾਂਗੇ। ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ BTV।
We appreciate each and everyone's time. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Sunny Kucker. I'm one of the co-founders and co-creators of the Sifarish network. And I'll just tell you a little bit about the network from my perspective. And then, is this okay for some? Yeah. And then I'll pass it on to my partner, Raj. So the Sifarish network, quick elevator pitch, is a South Asian community-based activation and engagement platform. So what that means really is our mandate is to bring people together. And we bring people together for various different reasons. We bring business owners together. We bring families together. We do programming in the community. And in today's example, what we wanted to do was facilitate information. So that's actually what Sifarish means, is recommendation. So what we wanted to do was create a platform where people can come in one place, access information. So we want to do an information hub. And as this is an election year, we thought there would be some value add for us to facilitate the platform for every party. So we're a non-partisan organization. So yesterday we facilitated the NDP, today we have the Liberal Party, and tomorrow was supposed to be Conservative, but that's been scheduled till next week. So yeah, so that's what it's all about, is spreading information, bringing people together, and I'll just stop there and I'll pass it to my partner Raj.
Yeah, again, thank you everyone. My name is Raj Mohitra. Edmonton is very, very important to us. Obviously, being born and raised in the city, we want to give back to the city. So this is part of our giving back, is giving information to the constituents of every single area. So we try to do these type of events where we bring people together so they can come, they can meet the candidates, they can ask questions, and hopefully those questions can be answered. We've been doing these sort of things for the last 3 years. Now we're finally in Edmonton, Calgary, Victoria, Vancouver, launching Red Deer shortly. We do plan to be across Canada in the next couple of years, so we're very excited about that. We are a non-profit organization. Our organization is run through memberships. So we do have memberships online. There's professional membership. With that membership, you have the ability to become a member of ours. You get discounted membership events. You get your member directory. So lots of different benefits that we can offer to members. So I'm going to stop there. I wanted to first and foremost, appreciate Mr. Amarjeet Sohi. I've known him for probably 25 years plus when I was a little kid. Now I'm a little older. So again, thank you for coming today. Thank you, Jeremy, for being here as well. So we're going to start the program. I'm going to pass it over to Sunny for a second.
Give people a chance to ask some questions. So we've got a mic that's going to go around here. So we'll start opening up to the floor tonight. And my name is Paul Lamba. I'm just welcoming everyone. I'm one of the founding members of Force of Bars. And the reason we joined it is just to, as you can see, we can connect with everybody. And this is a great platform. Anyone is looking to join or thinking of networking in the South Asian community, this is one of the opportunities everyone has, and I think should take advantage of. This is one of the platforms we've actually haven't seen anywhere collaborating at this level. So definitely take advantage. And once again, Surprise Rose, this is my first time at this location. I think it's fantastic. The food is amazing. The tea is amazing. I'd like to ask you pass on, right? Or should we start with you? So we'll start with, I'm going to call the candidate from Gateway, Liberal, Jeremy. Pass the mic on to you.
I've been the Liberal candidate for all of 3 days, and I have been working very hard ever since. I got the tap on the shoulder Sunday morning. There wasn't any discussion with it. I was told that I am the guy, and it's time for me to represent Edmonton Gateway. Unlike the mayor, many of you probably don't know my face, so I'm going to take the opportunity to introduce myself to them. I'm a lawyer from here in Edmonton. I practice at one of the oldest firms in Edmonton. Before becoming a lawyer, I grew up on a cattle ranch outside of the city. So I come from pretty humble beginnings, and I think it keeps me connected to what matters and what what everyday people are feeling. Since becoming a lawyer, or rather, before I became a lawyer, I ran a legal nonprofit providing free legal services to low-income people here in Edmonton. I established a program that allowed people who are facing discrimination at their workplace to get free legal assistance and even a caseworker who will guide them through the human rights process and the human rights tribunal to make sure that their rights are respected. What it means is if you're being discriminated upon on the basis of ethnic background, gender, marital status, physical disability, there's always going to be someone who's going to protect you. And that's the kind of attitude that I want to bring towards being a member of Parliament for Edmonton Gateway. I've always been trying to look out for those who kind of need their support. I did that as a lawyer, I did that as a political organizer, and I'm hoping to do that as a member of Parliament. To give you another idea of what kind of person I am, I've been getting asked a lot recently, Jeremy, you're a lawyer, what kind of lawyer? I'm sure a lot of people in the audience here have kids or are just starting out on their own. I'm sure all of your parents or you as parents are telling your kids, stay in school, get good grades, get a good job. Let me tell you, I did all of those things and I still can't afford a house. Yeah, and one of the things that we are working on, and one of the reasons that I'm running as a Liberal candidate, is the plan that Mark Carney and the Liberal Party has to ensure that young Canadians like me, I'm only 27 years old, can afford to get into a house. That includes waiving GST on houses under $1 million for first-time home buyers. If you're buying a starter home of about $400,000, that's about 20 grand that's just knocked off the purchase price. For someone who is working hard to become a homeowner, that can be the difference between getting into a home and not. That is in addition to all of the other policies that have been announced that are going to increase the house supply to ensure that there are homes for Canadians to move into and buy. And that's the reason why I think that out of all of the political parties, obviously I like mine the best. All of the political parties, I think that is the secure and the well thought out plan that is going to get people like me and people like your kids, maybe 10, 15 years down the road, into the dream of being a homeowner. I'm going to be sitting here chatting with people after Mayor Sohi talks to you as well. And I'm hoping that we can have a couple of chats about what matters to you.
Guys, to obviously the Liberal candidate for Edmonton Southeast, the mayor of Edmonton, Alberta, Mr. Amarjeet Sohi.
Thank you so much for stepping in and taking on the role of being the candidate for looking forward to working with you as we get into the last 3 weeks of our campaign. I also want to start by thanking the Spice Bros for hosting us. This is the first time I actually been here. Looking forward to coming back for lunch and spending some more time with you guys. Also want to thank Rajiv and Sunny and everyone else from Sifarish for bringing us together. This is an organization that I have seen grow over the last few years since its inception, and I have known both of them for a while. Sunny's dad, who is unfortunately no longer with us, him and I and Rajiv's dad, Naresh Malhotra, we were used to all work together at dads, and that's how we came to know each other. That's how I've seen both of them grow from diapers into enter suits, right? So and then right. And they get old too, right? No, and losing hair. So thank you so much for putting this together and organizing this conversation. I also want to say something about my dear friend Narinder. Narinder is a Rajeev's dad. Narinder and I have spent so many days and hours together. When I ran first time for City Council in 2004, Narinder knocked on many doors during that campaign. And on the election day, we had a huge snowstorm. And Narinder was door knocking in Gold Bar at that time, your neighborhood. And you know how that area is. You gotta go so many steps to actually go to the doors and knock on the doors and walk back to the street. And Narinder was knocking on the door and he slipped. And he rolled all the way down to the street. The only good thing was there was so much snow that it protected me. That's how protected me. Right? So, yeah, absolutely. I am telling you this because if I am standing here in front of you today in this capacity, it is because there have been so many people like Narinder behind me to make me who I am. And I am what I am because of the community, because of my friends. So Narinder, thank you so much for and also Sarabji, my wife, without whom I would not be able to do anything in my life. Narinder and we worked at that. We worked at EPS and we were part of the union with organizing to become part of the union to make our life better and get treated fairly and with respect. And one day I was coming home and I was standing outside in my yard and Sarabjit was looking through the window at me and she reminded me later something that she saw something that I could not see myself. She saw something that I'm capable of doing more. And she encouraged me to do more. And every step of the way, she stood with me to do more. So Sarabjit, thank you. So why am I doing this? I really enjoy my work as mayor. We have been doing some good things, investing back in core municipal services, dealing with public safety issues, dealing with the crisis of mental health addictions that our communities are facing, and we were getting the results and seeing movement and positive change. And I'm very proud that over the last 3.5 years, I've been able to build a very strong council of my colleagues who are carrying on that work. So, being mayor is not an easy job, but it's an enjoyable job. But it's also a job where you work hard, but at the end of the day, you come to your family. You get to eat with your family. But being a member of parliament is different. It is more travel, it is more hard in your family. So you may be wondering that why would I step into this role? The reason I'm stepping into this role that these are not ordinary times. That these are unprecedented times that our country is going through. As an immigrant coming to this land, where I had so many opportunities to fulfill my dream and build my life, I've never ever imagined in my life that our sovereignty will ever be under attack. That our sovereignty as an independent nation will be questioned. So these are not. I never thought that the best friend that we have, our neighbor, the United States, with whom we have a decades and decades old relationship, will walk away from that long relationship. That we will have a sense of betrayal that we have never felt before. So these are not normal. So that's why I'm stepping up. So when I was approached by the party to run, I did say no earlier on, but then when Mark Carney became the leader, I saw an opportunity that we are selecting someone, we are electing someone who has the experience to lead our country through these difficult, unprecedented, challenging times. Someone who has the experience, someone who has dealt with crises before, someone who has the temperament to stay calm, but also be very firm. Someone who can tell to U.S. administration that we will respect you, that we will sit on the table with you to negotiate a deal that will be mutually benefit to both countries. But before we do that, you need to respect us as a sovereign nation. So you need to show that. And we have seen change in Edmonton. I think that is the kind of leadership that we require. And that's the kind of leadership that I want to be part of. Making sure that Edmonton, which is the fourth largest city in Canada now, yes, fourth largest city in Canada, and we have the fifth largest economy in the world. And we need to be at the table to ensure that our workers, our families, our businesses are protected. That we are offering solutions that will help us build a better economy, whether it's through removing interprovincial trade barriers, things that we have been talking about for decades and decades, but now there's the opportunity. Everyone now is realizing that we need to do things differently. And one of those is to remove those barriers. Instead of having 13 economies, let's work together to build one economy that works for everyone. I think that's our opportunity. There's also another opportunity that we have so much to offer the world, whether it's renewable resources, whether it's conventional resources, whether investing in technologies, the innovation that we have at our universities, our colleges. But for too long, we have been so much reliant on one country, one customer. We have trade agreements with 52 countries in this world, but we still continue to rely on one. I think this is our opportunity to expand those trades and expand those relations and really help grow our local economy, but also offer solutions to the world. I think that's a main opportunity. Another opportunity is protecting what we have. There are many people in the riding from which I'm running, and Germany is running, and throughout the city and throughout the country, working class, middle class families who rely on Canada Child to make their living affordable. That Canada Child benefit is helping people pay the bills each and every day. It is about protecting the program. It is about protecting the dental care program. There are many families, particularly in Edmonton, where a lot of our businesses are small businesses and they don't have dental plans for their employees. And those employees need dental care, and our government is offering dental care. Child care program. There's a lot of families who cannot afford to pay the child care. And we started $10 a day child care plan that is helping those families afford child care, that enables both parents to actually contribute, make the life better, but also contribute to the society. Farmer care is another program that we need to have. So our focus is middle class. Our focus is helping working class, middle class families, and that's where I will focus on. That's where Jeremy will focus on. So we're here to ask for your support. We're here to ask for your confidence. And when I was part of the government from 2015, seeing a pipeline built in Canada for decades that would take Alberta to the ocean, from which we can actually take that oil to markets beyond the United States. Since that pipeline has opened, within the first 9 months of opening of that pipeline, $9 billion of new revenue was generated for the oil companies and government of Alberta because of the valuation of the differential that we got or reduced because of that diversification of the market. I'm very proud of the work. I'm very proud that as infrastructure minister, I was able to secure investments to deal with flooding issues in the roads, or to build the 82nd Avenue 50th Street rail crossing, or expand our Yellowhead freeway into actually a freeway instead of just a regular street. So there's many other things that we were able to do together. I think it's an opportunity for us to step up again, be part of the solution, be part of the government, and have that representation on behalf of the city. So with that, once again, thank you guys for organizing this. And looking forward to seeing
Part of our platform. I think given the state of the world, given what's happening in Ukraine, as well as other parts in the world, it's going to be really important that Canada is meeting its 2% NATO targets, especially the commitments to increase production of naval ships, submarines to protect the Northwest Passage. In addition to the current stresses on global security, climate change is going to increase threats to Canada's north. This Northwest Passage remains open for a longer period each year, and it's going to be somewhere where Canada is going to need to exert its sovereignty, and that is something that we are going to do and make sure that we have the capacity to do that. Thank you.
My name is Mohit. I operate student developer. I'm the policy analyst on the as well. I'm on the board of student development. My question is around beyond the GST rate. Are there any other ways that you see to create affordable housing?
Yeah.
To people, especially students.
Yeah. So GST rebate is one component of the affordable housing plan. Other components are identifying and making all the federal land available for development. Federal government owns a lot of land in our country, so allocating that I think is going to go along. The other component is making sure that development fees are at cost recovery instead of a revenue source for municipalities. And when it is a revenue source, federal government works with provincial governments to ensure that municipalities are kept whole in doing so. So a lot of red tape reduction efforts as well, permitting approvals that are part of the solutions too. And another component is kind of breaking down the CMHC into two components. One is focusing on market housing, how low-cost loans can continue to help develop rental and market housing, and then the other one is Build Canada, the program, and that will help unlock more housing. So I think the biggest challenge we have on housing is supply of both market, but also supply of non-market. And that's where the whole plan kind of comes together in a holistic way, along with the GST rebate on first.
The Healthcare Act, and whether the Liberal Party is looking at making some amendments in regards to putting some accountability parameters around the health transfer dollars that go to provinces, in how the provinces use that money. When you look at using Alberta, for example, how it's becoming so privatized versus public health care, and seeing that seems to be some of the shift people are talking about across Canada.
I don't generally have thoughts, but I definitely have to look into it because I don't know what the conditions are now. But I do remember when federal government made additional resources available to deal with the mental health component of healthcare, and that came with some conditions. I can't remember what those commissions were, but they were attached to certain outcomes that federal government wanted to achieve. But the majority of the transfers are merely unconditional, but something that I can definitely check. I know what commissions at this point.
I echo that. At this time, most of the transfers are currently unconditional. And I think you raise a good point. If our tax dollars and our transfers are being earmarked for providing care to Canadians, it should actually provide care to Canadians. It should increase the quality and quantity of services available. I'd be supportive.
My question is, there was a very unfortunate thing that happened. Like first thing, this security guard boy was caught. So what are the plans that we youngsters and everyone around feels more safe and secure and no such event can happen again?
No, thank you for raising that. And also, welcome to Edmonton. We just arrived here a few months ago. Thank you so much for being part of Edmonton's community. That incident absolutely was the saddest incident, along with many other incidents too, right? And a young man who just showed up at work on his first day, his life was taken. I think there's a number of lessons from that. One of them is proper training. These security companies should have more training to deal with kind of the circumstances that were known for that site. And so that's one, better regulations around training. And the second one is that for whatever reasons, and I hope that we figure out a better way to tackling this, that guns are easily available in our community. In an urban center like Edmonton, why would a person need to carry a gun? Okay? I think we need better regulations around the ownership of guns. If somebody wants to own a gun, a law-abiding citizen, absolutely, that's fine. But people who break the law, there has to be a better restriction about ownership. In this case, the person who is alleged to have killed Hershey had a long history of violence and a long history of justice. Another is that the change that was made last year was a good change, where repeat offenders are no longer entitled to bail. They have to justify now to the justice system why it should be bail. I think that reform is better reform. And there'll be other steps that we're partly announcing in a little while to make our justice system more responsive and deal with public issues. So it was a very unfortunate situation. At a city level, we have increased police funding almost 20% over the last 2 years, and more police officers are being hired. And our police service section is very good at investigative techniques and how they deal with crime. So they've done a good job in investigating the folks, but more needs to be done on the prevention side as well, right? What we need to do to stop senseless killings from happening.
Trade, like what are the steps that have to be accomplished to get that happening?
I think the best way to do it is having all provinces and the federal government sitting on the same table, and Prime Minister Carney and other people have now acted to establish an autonomy that by July 1st, 2026 desire to do so. The desire that I have never seen before. So that agreement, the strategy is in place. Let's see what happens. Why were they in place to start with? I don't. right? I think it's more about protectionism.
I'm the lawyer. I know why they're there. I'm pretty bookish. So I've got a pretty bookish answer. So the federal government and the provincial government, at the beginning of Canada, there was like dealing powers. They dealed out the powers between the provincial and the federal government. The federal government has the power over trade and commerce. That is general trade outside Canada and coming into Canada, as well as just trade generally across Canada, where provinces have the jurisdiction over matters. What the Constitution says, matters of a local and private nature. But what that's been interpreted is just general day-to-day life. You know, like Mayor Sohi said, you know, what makes a carpenter approved in this area? And just since the dawn of Confederation, different standards have developed in different provinces. You know, Ontario was settled far before Alberta, and different standards adapted them. And to answer your question, what does it take to reduce these interprovincial trade barriers? It takes leadership. It needs us all to sit down, look at the books, say, if we're going to have one seamless economy in Canada, we're going to need a leader to help hear everyone's thoughts and what the trade, you know, how trade should work in Canada, and have everyone come to a consensus. And I think Mark Carney is the guy to do that. You know, I'm not just tooting his horn because he's the party leader. I think he is that guy. He's former Bank of Canada, former Bank of England, and a real smart cookie. Thank you.
Like when anything happens in community, right, it's very easy to say mental health issues. Anything goes wrong, mental health. Anything we blame, mental health. When we excuse, is mental health. But no one is doing anything like finding the root causes why mental health exists, how to address it, how mental health issues, you know, drug, alcohol, crime, mental health. But what we are doing as a city, province, or federal to address that. And the other one I think is the drugs, like in the opium too, and the other one. Even in the streets or in the factories or in the workplaces, this becomes an issue. Like if someone is standing outside with, hi, what to do? Do we have a policy? No. Do we have a protection? No. But anytime you try to do something, there's a mechanism. How to address them, how to find the root causes to end it, because do we want to be proactive or reactive?
Yeah, so open drug use is illegal in every community. And so enforcement is obviously part of that. But mental health is a real crisis. It is a real crisis. You can't ignore the impact of mental health challenges on people's well-being and community well-being. There are various reasons why people struggle with mental health and why how people cope with mental health. And addiction is one way of coping with it. Using drugs is one way of coping with it. And I think where we need to work better is that it is a shared responsibility of everyone. It's not just a municipal responsibility or provincial responsibility or federal responsibility. Because this is a community. This is community everywhere, every city, every small, medium-sized city with communities facing this. I think that collective desire we talked earlier on, that this is recognizing this is a national crisis, and then working together to figure it out. There's no one root cause. There's various root causes of mental health, addictions, houselessness. But what I can say is that managing these issues is more expensive than actually solving these issues. And we need to focus on solving these issues and service managing these issues. Actually, I gotta go. I have an 8 o'clock event that I must attend. Sorry, Leanne, you had Ross. You had a lot.
How do you plan on to support the university with
Absolutely. I think when I was in my role as an MP and minister, I would say I brought in more investments into Edmonton than happened a decade ago. So I think knowing your community and taking that knowledge to the table where the decisions are made goes a long way. How that happened because of their needs. As a part of this community, I knew that how difficult it is to stuck at the rail crossing in second every 50 feet, because I was stuck there every going down, right? So experiencing the same thing that your community experiences enables you to be a better advocate for your community. So if Edmonton is going through a mental health crisis or addiction crisis or houselessness crisis or other jobs where they could do safety, I will experience the same thing. Jeremy will experience the same things because we are vested, we live. And I think that knowledge helps us to advocate.
Here next year, tight, that's
Yeah. Yes,
provincial and
absolutely. That's
to buy it.
Yeah.
Never mind buying, rent is possible.
Yeah.
Right? That's where the have
Yeah, absolutely.
that would be economic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Okay, thank you everyone. Really appreciate it.
Now Mr. Jeremy is with us, who is running as a Liberal candidate from Edmonton Gateway. So welcome on our TV. So I'm just want to ask you, before that the different candidate in the running, and the Liberal Party they removed that candidate, and now you are in the race. So how you plan, because this happening so quickly, as you told in your speech. So how you manage, because already you are a little bit late in the race.
I think you're exactly right. I learned I was the candidate on Sunday. That was 3 days ago. How we're managing that is we have a fantastic team here in Edmonton Gateway. I have the experience. I have ran before. And we know what we need to do. We need to talk to the people in this area. We need to introduce myself to these people in this area and get the word out. We have the expertise and the team to support me. In a lot of ways, I like a challenge, so I'm excited to do it, and I think it's going to help build a story that's going to help us come out on top.
As Liberal Party say, we are fighting for affordability and housing crisis, everything. But you are the Liberal and stay in the power for last 10 years. So that's why your opponents say, how you can, you say you solve the problem, but this problem is all created in your party's 10 years.
I think that there's been a global issue with affordability. It's not just Canada, it's the United States, it's the UK. To be honest, that was a little bit of a different Liberal Party over the past 10 years. We now have a new leader, a new direction, and a new drive. And now that we have a new leader, and he's partially why I'm running, is that I have confidence in our ability under new management in the Liberal Party, under Mark Carney, that we have the solutions to tackle these problems. I wouldn't say that these problems are new as of the past 10 years. They've been going on for the past 30 to 40, and they've just malingered for over that time, and now they've come to a head because of other things happening, like the COVID-19 pandemic, and now Donald Trump's trade war, and now they can't be ignored any longer. We're in for some difficult times, and we're going to need a experienced and capable captain at the helm of the ship.
No, Liberal Party says we have a Mark Carney who know the all solution of the problem. So why we forget that Mr. Trudeau, because he ran, so now we just forget that thing. So now we all focus on the Mr. Carney. So, but the opponent sometimes they say Liberal, Mr. Carney, the all cabinet minister, mostly the old one. So if the same team, same something, so how we will find the new solution?
I think we can find a new solution, and I think I'm part of the reason why. I'm new blood to the party. I'm 27 years young. I'm a lawyer here from Edmonton. I've got the drive, and I've got new ideas here. We've got, I can say that we've shook out the dust We've got brand new ideas. And, you know, to think about it this way, I believe in a saying that governments are like milk. Eventually they go bad. Sometimes you need to take them out and replace them. And we were very fortunate this time around that when we were starting to get sleepy behind the wheel, we were able to replace the milk, get a new team in here, including me, that has the energy and the brand new ideas to take the action that Canadians need us to take.
In the past, we see always the Alberta province government and the federal, they have a conflict. So now Mr. Carney also announced that they have a cap. They put a cap on the oil reserve, oil production. So and Smith province premier say so they gave something 9 demands to the Mr. Carney. So if you won that election, so how you can deal or how you can make to eliminate that conflict?
I'm so glad you asked this question. I think I'm one of the best guys to deal with that conflict. My entire family is conservative, deeply conservative, and I grew up in rural Alberta, where the Conservatives find, their power base. My late father was a county councillor for Parkland County. He was one of the most conservative guys that I've ever met. But him and we could still resolve our differences, talk politics, and talk and work towards a solution that works for both of us, and that makes everyone happy. And I want to bring that experience and bring it to Ottawa. I'm not your everyday run-of-the-mill Liberal. I'm not like very many other guys. I'm a Liberal from rural Alberta. I grew up on a farm. And I've been, right smack dab in the middle of conservative Alberta, and I know how it is to be out there. I know how they feel, given, I understand why they feel a lot of the ways that they do, and by finding that common ground, we can work towards common solutions.
Thank you, Mr. Jeremy, for your time, and best of luck for your election. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
ਅੱਜ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਿਫਾਰਿਸ਼ ਦੁਆਰਾ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਮੀਟ ਐਂਡ ਗ੍ਰੀਟ ਜੋ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ, ਉਹਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਸੀ। ਅੱਜ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਸੀ ਸਾਊਥ ਈਸਟ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਚੋਣ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਅਮਰਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸੋਹੀ ਤੇ ਗੇਟਵੇ ਤੋਂ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਗੇਟਵੇ ਤੋਂ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਜੈਰਮੀ। ਤੋ ਅੱਜ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਜੈਰਮੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਸੋਹੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਮਸਰੂਫੀਅਤ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅੱਜ ਇਹ ਕਿਹਾ ਵਾ ਕਿ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ, ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਜਲਦੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇਣਗੇ। ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਅਗਲੇ ਵੀਕ ਤੱਕ ਪੋਸਟਪੋਨ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆ, ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਨਾਲ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਨਸਰ ਹੋਏ ਆ, ਜੋ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਣੀਆਂ ਚਾਹੀਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਕਮੈਂਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਈਮੇਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ BTV। ਨਮਸਕਾਰ।